Hello everyone, I'll be covering your English grammar lessons. So to start with, what is grammar? It is the backbone of the language. It will help you to make sense of the language. You have to learn some basic set of rules and exceptions. So we'll start with parts of speech. So we have 9 parts of speech. What are these? Nouns, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, prepositions, articles, conjunction, and interjections. So, what are these parts of speech? These are bones and flesh with which all sentences are formed. We will learn some set of rules how we need to place these in the sentence. Each and every part of speech has its unique role in the interpretation of the sentence or word. So, we will start with nouns. So, how do we define nouns? Nouns are nothing but name of place, animal, or a thing. So, nouns are further divided in two broad categories, that are uncountable and countable nouns. So, in uncountable, we have proper nouns, and abstract nouns. So, what are proper nouns? Proper nouns are a name of a person or a place. For example, Meena, Rahul, Narendra, etc. And some exceptions are also there, that are names of the waterfalls and rivers. For example, the Niagara, the Brahmaputra, and we use the article the in the beginning of the names of any kind of waterfall and rivers. So now we move to the abstract nouns. So what are proper nouns? Proper nouns are name of a person or a place. For example, Hemant, Mohit, Rahul, Ram, Sham, Rohtak, etc. There are some exceptions in proper nouns, that are mountain ranges, rivers, waterfalls. They also come in proper nouns. The examples of the mountain ranges: the Mount Everest, Niagara Falls, the Brahmaputra. These are the exceptions of proper nouns. Now we move to abstract nouns. What are abstract nouns? These are states of mind or emotions or feeling which we can feel but can't see or touch them. For example, love. After love comes sorrow, freedom. These are the feelings we can experience or we can express, but we can't see them as they are not visible and not tangible. We can only experience and feel the abstract nouns. Abstract nouns usually come with usually used in a singular state. What does it mean by when we use an abstract noun in a singular state is, for example, we say I love the freedom I was bestowed by my parents. Or, for example, another example, I love my grandmother. It doesn't matter how much I love, but I'll use love in a singular state. This is the singular state. But why did I say that we usually use singular state? Because in some set of examples we have where we need to use them in a plural state. Plural state में हम कब use करेंगे इनको? The freedoms given by the Constitution to the citizens is their basic right. So why do we use freedoms here instead of freedom? Because here we are talking about variety of freedoms. When we use variety, we add a plural state of the abstract noun instead of the singular state. Now we move to the next category of nouns, that is countable nouns. There are two types of countable nouns, common nouns and collective nouns. We'll start with common nouns. What are common nouns? Commonly used things which we can see or touch. For example, cars, table, chairs, etc. These are countable in numbers. For example, 3 cars, 11 chairs, and so on. And what are collective nouns? Group of people, creature, or things. For example, a swarm of bees, a shoal of fish, a flock of sparrows. These are also very much countable in nature. So there are some collective nouns which are not used conventionally. For example, normally we use flock for birds. We usually flock for birds. But in case of crow, we don't use flock. We use murder. We say a murder of crows. And how can you remember this? Remember Malika Sherawat? You know that her first movie was murder. I remember it like this, so you can also remember it. For crows, we use murder. One more word which we don't use flock for is owl. Owl is owl is considered to be a symbol of wisdom. We use parliament of owls. Parliament of owls. So these are some typical collective nouns that are used for the name of the birds. So a few other collective nouns are for monkeys we use, as monkeys are very close to human beings, we use crowd for a group of human beings. Human beings and monkeys. So what we say? A crowd of monkeys. When we see a group of monkeys, we say a crowd of monkeys. Some others you can also remember: a constellation of stars, cluster of stars. You can also say cluster is more adequate. Cluster of stars. For priests we use a congregation of priests. Or the representative of the religious groups. We have multiple collective nouns. That are used for the same thing. For example, a bundle, or we can say bunch, or stack, or sheaf of papers. So these are multiple collective nouns we can use for papers. And we also have same collective noun used for multiple things. For example, an array of switches, panels, numbers, etc. So this is our collective noun. Now we move to the other types of nouns. We start with material nouns. What are material nouns? These are substance or raw materials. Substance or raw materials used in making something else. Used in making something else. For example, air, water, cloth, cotton, gold, etc. Okay. Next thing, then to express the quantity, just their quantity. They need to have a unit of measurement. Measurement. For example, a quintal of cotton or 10 kilograms of gold. So the material nouns are neither countable nor uncountable. So they are neither in the category of countable nor in the category of uncountable. And the last type of noun is we have compound nouns. So these nouns are the joined words. When we join two words, for example, when we join verb with a noun, verb with an adjective, noun with adjective, noun with adverb, adjective with adverb, adverb with verb. So when we join two different words or two different types of parts of speech together, we form compound nouns. For example, rainfall. So rain is a noun, fall is a verb. Haircut. Hair is a noun, cut is a verb. Swimming pool. So these are all compound nouns. When we join two different parts of speech, that will form a compound noun. These are also neither countable nor uncountable. So that's it for nouns. In the next class, we will study about subject verb.